Tom Cruise, the megastar, who's defied aging gravity, Hollywood expectations for decades, entered the View studio to thunderous applause. Flashing his famous smile and exuding the polished confidence that made him a global icon, Cruise looked ready to promote the upcoming installment of Mission. It's an impossible film that had already stirred headlines for its real stunts, its impossible budget, and Cruise's own daredevil antics. He exchanged friendly nods with Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, and Alyssa Farah Griffin. Then his eyes landed on Joy Behar, who returned his smile with one that felt ... calculated. From the outside, the scene was familiar, big celebrity, selling a big movie on a big stage. But moments into the conversation, it became clear that Joy had no intention of letting Cruise keep it surface level. And Tom Cruise, known for his laser-focused intensity, was not going to play along with snark disguised as journalism. Followed was a war of tone, a clash of principle, and one of the most jaw-dropping walkouts the View has ever witnessed. Asterisk, it began innocently, as they always do. Whoopi asked about the film's now-viral stunt, a jaw-dropping motorcycle jump off a cliff and Cruise explained the meticulous preparation, the training, the fear, and the drive behind doing it all himself. It's about delivering something real to the audience, he said. No green screen can replace authenticity. The audience clapped, clearly eating up his dedication. Alyssa asked about longevity, how he's managed to maintain his status across 4 decades in one of the most ruthless industries on earth. Cruise spoke passionately about discipline, hard work, and love for storytelling. Into his humanitarian efforts, his work with veterans, his contributions to disaster relief efforts, even funding small international film programs. The segment seemed locked into a groove of admiration, enjoyed with her signature dry delivery. Cut in sharply, asterisk Tom. She said, you've always been this driven figure, but some people see it more as obsession, control, even arrogance. So what would you say to people who think your relentless pursuit of perfection comes off, well, a little psychotic? The audience reacted immediately, gasps, murmurs, a sharp intake of breath. Cruise's smile didn't falter, but the glint in his eye changed. I'd say people confuse passion with madness when they don't understand the work, he replied calmly. Joy raised an eyebrow. But even some of your co-stars have said working with you is like joining a cult of intensity. You demand a level of precision that some find unbearable. Cruise leaned in, tone still measured, but cooler now. Showing up early, giving 100%, holding myself and others to a standard means I'm unbearable? Then maybe that says more about them than me. Asterisk, that should have been the cue to move on, but Joy wasn't finished. Let's talk about control, she continued, ignoring the visible discomfort on her co-hosts' faces. You're a major figure in the Church of Scientology. Not just a personal belief, it's a political and controversial organization. Do you think it's fair to dodge questions about that while presenting yourself as a champion of truth and courage? The audience was stunned. Sunny looked at her hands. Whoopi visibly winced. Cruise sat still for a long beat, blinking once. You invited me here to talk about my work, he said, voice now flat. But since you brought it up, my personal beliefs are personal. I don't weaponize them for ratings. Joy shrugged as if to say, then why are you so defensive? Asterisk, that's when Tom Cruise's demeanor shifted completely. He sat back, shook his head slowly, and let the smile fade. You're not asking me questions, Joy, he said, making accusations and hoping I react. That's not journalism. That's theater. The audience murmured again. Joy opened her mouth to retort, but Cruise raised a hand. Let me finish. And then, in a tone more commanding than any line he'd ever delivered on screen, he said, you sit there and talk about truth, but every time someone doesn't give you the headline you want, you poke until they break. You don't want a conversation, you want a viral moment. Asterisk Whoopi tried to intervene. Tom, let's steer this back, but Cruise wasn't finished. No, it's fine, he said, now unhooking the mic from his collar. This is exactly why people stop talking honestly, because platforms like this punish nuance. He stood up. You want to call me arrogant, obsessed, even psychotic? Fine, but I've put my life on the line literally to make something people can believe in. What have you done lately, Joy? The entire room froze. Behar blinked rapidly, clearly, caught off guard by the direct hit. "You come for me," he continued, "because you know I won't cry or play victim, but I won't sit here and pretend this is a real conversation." Asterisk, and just like that, he stood. The studio lights caught him just right, like a scene from a movie, only raw, unscripted, and real. The studio assistant stepped forward, whispering into her headset as Cruz walked calmly toward the backstage exit. "Thanks to everyone else," he said to the audience. "I came here in good faith, but I don't have time to be dissected like a lab rat." As he disappeared off stage, the silence was shattered only by the audience, some clapping, some shouting, "We love you, Tom." Others just sitting, stunned at what they had just witnessed. The camera cut awkwardly to commercial, but it was too late. The moment was immortal. Asterisk within minutes. Clips flooded social media. Hashtag Tom walks off. Hashtag The View meltdown. And hashtag Tom V's joy exploded across X and Instagram. Fans defended him. Critics debated him. But one thing was clear. He had delivered the kind of unscripted moment that producers pray for, even if it came at the expense of their own dignity. By noon, the clip had hit 5 million views. By nightfall, over 30 million. Talk shows, podcasts, YouTubers all dissecting every word, every micro-expression. People weren't just watching, they were taking sides. Asterisk Joy Behar, the next day, offered a vague apology that wasn't an apology. "We asked tough questions. Sometimes it gets uncomfortable," she said. Whoopi added, "Tom's a professional. Things got heated. We respect him, but the damage had been done." Lissa stayed quiet. Sunny added, "Maybe it's time we rethink what respect looks like on this show."
Ow.
The vibe was clear. Even the co-hosts knew the line had been crossed.
Ow.
For Joy, it was just another skirmish. For Cruz, it was a turning point. Asterisk Tom Cruise, as expected, issued no statement. He didn't post, didn't clarify. He simply reappeared 2 nights later at his film premiere in London, smiling, shaking hands, acting as though nothing had happened. And maybe for him, nothing had. Because when you've been at the top for 4 decades, you don't chase validation. You don't chase applause. You walk into the fire, speak your truth, and if it gets too toxic, you walk right out again.